Okay, so shelter is a birthright. The best way to establish this in the coming days to rebuild this nation, this country, as a people, united people in love and understanding for peace. This is by acknowledging the landlords that do not genuinely care about the tenants. You know who they are. Landlords are supposed to keep track of their well being when bills get behind. If they do not, they need to be accountable. If the tenant cannot pay the bills, the landlord needs to ask why, peacefully, without frustration. Listen, if the tenant is mentally stuck, the landlord is to create a comforting atmosphere when talking to them so that the tenant is not freaking out or worrying about like if they're going to make rent on time or if they're going to end up on the streets. Usually they will be depressed, and so be understanding, listen to what's on their mind. From there, we can work together and maybe even recommend a place of work that matches their passion. Because usually the tenant will be more happy and will be able to focus and organize their lively things if they are doing something they love, whether it's a hobby or their actual place of work. This is how community grows for the better. This is how we rebuild our country. It's a small step. It's an attentive step. It's a step that needs awareness, especially in rural neighborhoods where there's a lot of rich people, but there's also some down homes and apartments where people struggle. People are reliant on on food stamps, and they're reliant on working 2-3 shifts, 24 hours a week. 24 hours a day, every day a week. These people are struggling, and a lot of people are working 2 to 3 jobs, and they still don't make enough. They're still worrying about whether or not they're able to pay rent. But it could be easier for the tenant if the landlord creates a comfortable atmosphere, if they are understanding, if they will listen to the tenant. All right, they're not taking advantage of them or coercing just for the money. The money should be the last thing on the landlord's mind if they want to rent out a property of theirs. If they want someone to rent out their property, they need to be able to keep track of the well-being of the tenant. It shouldn't be like a working employee. Like you do it, and if you can't do it, then it is what it is. No, we're in this together. A strong community starts with listening and understanding each other. It doesn't matter if you're a landlord or the tenant. If you can't understand each other, then maybe you need to look somewhere else as far as qualifications and doing something else, But we start there. We start there with the landlord bringing attention, bringing accountability to ourselves, being honest with ourselves. Like, what can we do to better ourselves? What can we do to improve ourselves, to promote our well-being instead of being depressed and worried if the landlord will kick you out? And the same for the landlord. Like, instead of worrying about whether or not you're going to be able to make bills to keep the property and keep it going, listen to your tenants. If you listen to your tenants, most likely you'll grow. You'll grow economically and emotionally. You'll just become a better person naturally from taking accountability and understanding your tenants, listening to them. Go as far as you need to. Follow your heart. Go the extra mile. Just because you're a landlord doesn't mean you have to restrict yourself in doing certain things. Go the extra mile.